Good morning. Continuing our discussion of kosev, of writing on Shabbos, all forms of writing are prohibited on Shabbos, as mentioned. Obviously, writing two letters, which is the most strict, the malacha min haTorah, and any significant writing fits under that category as well. But it's not only formal writing with a pen or a marker, but even scratching into a surface, or as mentioned, putting letters into fog or sand or the like, are likely prohibited, at least midrabanan. What about connecting pieces of a jigsaw puzzle or connecting pieces of bananagrams or something similar? Would that be included under the malacha of kosev? So Rabbi Ribiat in his Lamites Malacha suggests that based on the fact that you're putting parts next to each other, it depends. If the item has its own significance, for example, bananagrams where each tile is its own letter, and you're combining them simply to make a word, then that's only prohibited if they are held tightly together, where they have grooves in which you're putting them in. But if each part is just next to each other and has its own significance on its own, then that would be allowed. But where the pieces are entirely insignificant on their own, for example, one piece of a jigsaw puzzle, then putting that next to each other, according to him, even loosely, would create something of meaning and therefore would be prohibited. However, Shmira Shabbos Kehilchasa disagrees, and he implies that it depends in all cases how tight it is. Even if something that on its own has no significance, like a puzzle piece or a crumb of food, and then if you put it together loosely to make an image of meaning, as long as it's loose without tightly connecting one to the other, then it would be permitted. Once it's held in tightly, then it would be prohibited, even according to Shmira Shabbos Kehilchasa. So a case of a puzzle, to put them next to each other may not be problematic, but to connect them in a tight way would likely be prohibited. Perhaps for children, there would be other leniencies if it is the normal way to connect and disconnect, or it is not created in a tight way. But certainly for adults, it would be problematic to make a meaningful image by connecting one to the other. Similarly, bananagrams, again, if it's loose together, if they're simply placed next to each other, then it would not be a problem, certainly. But if it's put in a tight holding groove, then that would pose a problem of kosev. Rav Moshe Feinstein in his Igros Moshe and Orach Chaim 1:135 states that if parts of a letter, again, are placed next to each other without being connected at all, then also there is no issue. So the bottom line here is kosev would apply to images and to letters which are being connected. However, according to most, it seems that that problem only arises if they are put next to each other in a tight, connected form. If one is simply putting them next to each other, then that would not be problematic. So bananagrams in the normal form would likely be permissible. However, connecting puzzle pieces in a tight manner would likely be prohibited. Have a great Shabbos.